First of all, I would like to say that you got to have something meaningful to say. I mean, you can say whatever you want from your perspective, because obviously, if you don't have anything meaningful to say, then what can you say? You will definitely speak from your own vantage of whatever you know, whether you want to help the world or you want to fool the world. That choice depends on you, because you've got to survive too. And the whole idea of our existence is that we are in a mix. Who gets what? You can leave that to God. But you are going to do something, whether it be good, bad, intelligent, or foolish. No one can be the judge of that but yourself. And we have to learn from each other, which is why we have to survive, and which is why the truth will come to the surface. And now, who gets to know the truth depends on your experience and understanding of the truth. So, here is what I'm going to do. I'll start talking about some concerns I have alongside some activity, just like walking or sitting, or maybe correcting my posture or my expressions, and whatever it is I need to work on. And very soon, I will bring in the music that I can correlate with some of the ideas as passing thoughts. I know my sitting posture is not quite right, but let's see if I can incorporate the right posture with some practice. So let's start with the first one. Whenever I see grown-ups talking in another language other than this, my heart sinks for them. More like I feel pity for them. It doesn't affect me, but I was passed on the wrong information as a child. But also because of their awareness, which isn't where it's supposed to be as a global citizen. And as a child, I was told to not speak any other language other than this. And that's what I followed diligently, even though other people were not following it. Because I understood and could foresee that the aim was to reach a global evolution phase, which completely enhances the communication structure globally, thereby helping its communities. But I would blame the people entirely. The ones who are in power, like the politicians and the movie stars. They did not make much effort to understand that. And so people followed their inspiration and were misled. And now it's too late for them to restructure their communication. So they are together in this misfortune, but I try to stay out of it, because each of our realities are different. And I aim to build a surrounding around myself to include like-minded people, which would hopefully allow me to create my own audience, having certain characteristics as I imagine it to be. And hopefully I wouldn't need anything more than that, which should be enough. It's almost like crafting an audience. And as we, the society, already live in our respective houses, we live in our respective dreams. We cannot intrude into anyone else's house or their dreams or their mindset. And people who do that are called thieves and robbers and intruders of the system. Anyone who disrupts another person's privacy is a thief. So if you're robbing something from a bad person, you're not a robber. You're actually a system corrector. You are the true policeman. But who gets to decide who is a bad person? Essentially, the universe does. So it does not matter who has what title. It eventually depends on nature when it gives you a reward or a punishment. And eventually you understand that the system is unhackable. It cannot be corrupted. You can corrupt your own existence and yours alone, not anyone else's existence. Which is why we are all here together. You think nature is that dumb to keep all of us together with all the stress about each other? No, my friend. Nature is far too intelligent for that. Nature is far too intelligent for them to comprehend. Which is why the most simple thing that you can do is to concentrate on your own life and follow your life purpose. Because there is more, not just in this life, but other lives coming after this. But I will not get into the details of that here. So where were we? Communication and language. As you can already tell that whatever I said cannot be articulated in any other language than this. Language is what connects us with God. And if you really want to talk to God, you got to know the language. It's not a binary language, and it's not English either. It is deeply coded within your thought process, which your brain interprets it as English or binary or whatever. But if you stand for international democracy, then you will make your efforts and help others understand it too. Now, I can go on talking about such things, but I'll talk more on this later. But for now, let me do some activities in the background as you can see, or maybe just I'll take a walk later. Because it's not every time that I make a video. But whenever I do make a video, I post it however it is, and I mostly keep it as raw as possible without editing it much. Because I'm surprised of how some of you can summarize a week, an entire week in just a few minutes in a vlog form. That's impossible for me. That's why I concentrate on just one topic at a time. But also it's your style, which means I can't do what you do, and you can't do what I do. But it's good to see that it's all a form of skill and creativity. And that's what we are here for, is to observe each other. And observe each other's skill and understand how different we are from each other sometimes. You know, like X-Men. I'm definitely inspired by X-Men. And actually, there are more of these movie icons and cartoon characters and creators that I could relate to as a growing individual, and they have totally made a wonderful image within me, which I would mention as well maybe later. I don't know what was stopping me just from talking and being myself. Why was it so difficult when right now I feel it's so easy? I can recall when I actually first started the channel. I thought I was ready then, but then just a few days later, I ran into some recording problems wherein I wasn't able to get the exact volume of my voice that I wanted. That was a phase where it almost felt like I didn't have a voice. What is it like to be without a voice is something I understood deeply during that phase, because my volume was so low that I was barely audible. And then there was some static noise in all my recordings that I just couldn't find a way to remove, which is what made me delay things unexpectedly. All those details I have recorded on my other channel, even though there was the static noise, which means nature had already started with the testing phase before I could blame anybody else. But I still somewhat got that phase of my life recorded, and you could find that on my other channel, which I will mention when the time is right. which leads me to say that all these recurring disturbances have been divinely planned so I can achieve my full potential and break all barriers to complete my alignment. And now, I genuinely feel that I'm ready. I'm not sure if you can feel it, if you can feel what I feel, but I am present now. Even though I'm still having some minor recording problems on my drum app, but now I am present. I will find a way to get around presenting myself no matter what barrier comes my way. The problem with the drum app is that the recordings are not very crystal clear. The recordings are not crystal clear as it's on Caustic, which hints me to concentrate on deploying the Caustic files because those are the files that have been on hold for a very long time, since 2018, I think. But I only started this channel 3 years ago. I started, but I had already worked on the Caustic files long before that. So I'm thinking to do that very soon now, by next week, hopefully. So here's what I will do. I'll continue making a few more shorts about drums, and I will pause the drum videos and then start with the Caustic uploads by making shorts as well as the long form videos to discuss how I did it. I think that would make more sense. That's when the music part would actually start full-fledged. And of course I will also continue with the drum videos because I think I'm getting my hands on the app, so why lose that content? I'll take that along as well. Let's see what it gets me. Because every morning I wake up, I still have some residual memory of my dreams, and every dream is different, as though I was on different planets. And I was, because I was not here when I was sleeping, which means we don't need a rocket or a spacecraft to travel to other planets, as we're already, each one of us, traveling everywhere that this universe wants us to be in. Everywhere we go without our will. And we are expected to overcome the challenges that the universe puts before us, not because it wants us to torment us, but because we have to rise and make our energies visible to have the experience that the soul requires in order to be fulfilled. And that's when you know that you've lived a fulfilled life. But that is when you're dead. And if you don't want to be pleading for another chance, you got to get your content together and give it your best shot, whatever it may be, and then relax in the void. Because cause it would more cause it would make more cause it would make more lot of sense then. So this is what I started saying earlier, that we may know that this is still a dream, but it's still very difficult to wrap your mind around how it is possible. Because the ego has such a strong hold that letting go is like losing yourself. But you got to take the leap and venture into your creation because it is going to be worth it. Which is why this life and every life has been designed. And I'm glad that we're doing it collectively for the experience and also to see how each one of us are doing it. Because I've also been in worlds where I'm the only one. And I can remember scanning a map from a spaceship, and it was a very different planet from Earth. But anyway, I don't want to get into the details of that right now. Because there are so many dreams, it's just not one. It's just not one other dream, but countless. So I'd like to focus on this dream for now, which is me being the music enthusiast that I am. Which is me being the music enthusiast that I am. And hopefully I can work my way around incorporating this knowledge for all those who are on the path to exploring their consciousness as well. I'm glad to be working with some of the softwares that I would like to mention, starting with the video editor. Vidma, thank you so much. I haven't tried other editors because I don't feel the need to do that at the moment. The same goes with the drum app, which was called, or which is called Simple Drums by TPV Apps. And they might have changed their name because I haven't been able to find the same version of the same version of their app, because they have upgraded or made changes to the title of the app, which I haven't really checked recently. And another app, which is Caustic. I'm very glad I purchased the app long back because it's not available right now. Or maybe a better version has been released. I haven't checked, but these apps have been enough to craft my way around what I've been looking to do. And for all those who are interested, can simulate it on their respective apps, because you might be accustomed to your own favorite app like FL, and also the working principle is the same, so that makes it easier for us to integrate, for example, the sound as in the notes like C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, etc., etc. All those are same for all of us, no matter which DAW we use. So that's a good thing, and we can understand what's going on. But mostly what I'm looking to do is to offload all the tracks that I have made so that I don't have it all to myself. And also, if it resonates with anyone, they can make their own version, which would have some time to have to not start from scratch. So let's get into that in the following videos. So as I walk my path, I understand it's not a simple path, but it is a chosen path. I can derive meaning out of this path. And although I say that I have short-term memory, it's fascinating how I can remember some thoughts from even before I was born. I don't know how that works. Does anyone else have a similar type of memory? Because what I remember is uttering these words to someone, and I said these exact words. Give me one more chance and it will be done. So now I wonder, was I talking to God? And why was I asking for this chance? And how was I able to speak in the same manner that I speak right now, even before I learned the language? Which makes me conclude that I was talking from a very powerful stand, whatever it was, which I was ready to sacrifice so that I could prove myself successful again and again and again, and as many times until I am given full honor of my power, so that I could have all of my memories back again. And then we could have another drink eventually. The divine drink of faith and love and prosperity, just as an angel would do. So I gave up my wings so that I could be here before you, looking like a lame person, where I have one chance to get your attention and you have one chance to recognize me. But nevertheless, it's back. Noah's Ark. Let's not call it an ark this time. Let's call it as the name of this channel suggests, and I will give it a new name later when I talk about my second channel, which is on standby for now, and which I've named after my spaceship. But how does that matter, right? Because it's hypothetical, but still, it's under construction. I should have made these videos on Christmas or even on New Year's or any of the calendar holidays in Jan and Feb, but I realized that it's better to do it without rushing it. Where I feel the mind needs to be at peace rather than seek judgment or approval or be stressed, unless it was extremely important. But I thought, since I was not completely aligned with my path then, or now I actually am, but since I felt a little off track, I thought it would be better to start fresh at a normal time, which leads me to say that this year is going to be the year that I make my mark in life and amend the principles that shape my reality. So I don't want to rush into anything, and I will have to be watchful of my moves. Moreover, the type of festivals we have here, the music or the sound gets so loud that it's a huge distraction to even record. Although there were times I felt I was ready during those days, but I had to pass on it due to the noise. But I am the unbeatable source. I will wait for them to finish, and then I will start mine. It's not called celebration if you are disturbing others with pathetic songs, playing so loud and bursting crackers non-stop that disturb the animals. You might be able to put cotton plugs in your ears, but the animals cannot do that. You would be proving yourself selfless and self-centered, filled with arrogance by doing such things. But I don't really care. After all, I'm the owner of my life, and I need to project the right energies articulating the aspects that govern my surroundings. I am the whole soulful controller of my surroundings, and anything negative or positive that happens is because of my presence. So I need to make the best moves in order to reach the vantage point that I desire to reach. And hopefully, it would give you some inspiration of how one needs to be in order to tackle the challenges of life. And every life has pre programmed some unique set of challenges. It's as though we all have received a different set of question paper, and we need to formulate our own answers before time runs out, because it is going to end for sure for everyone. I wonder what is the result of that, and how many marks or remarks do we get? I call this the Universal Board of Education, and my examination has already begun, is the way I look at it. These days, I try not to get excited by the occasion, which is why I've stopped partying outside and hanging around pubs and clubs, which is why I stay home in those calendar holidays and suit myself. Was for the primary reason that I don't want to deal with unknown people, especially if I have to give them money, like in a restaurant or the cab fare or tipping the waiter, because all those days are gone for me. In fact, I might just go into a restaurant one day and ask if there is some leftover food, or let's see what those guys have to say about that. Because being alone, I've realized that you got to be creative instead of coming under the prying eyes of someone. Because these days, it's very difficult to understand someone's intention. They want to take your money, but still not give you the right service. And I feel that all this has occurred due to the eye candies. They are the ones who have attracted the negativity with the shyness, and it's only better for the evolution to steer that accordingly. They cannot rule any of us. We are the rulers of our own minds. Anyone trying to overpower someone else will have to face the consequences driven by nature, which could be an eternal result. And obviously, they are not going to be around me forever because our realities will shift and they will be faced with other challenges. And I will have my own set of challenges, but mine will certainly be a lot more interesting than theirs. Because the primary thing is that I don't have to deal with guilt and shame and fear, because those are for cowards only. But as always, I might only face challenges dealing with staying on my path and maybe distractions that I need to overcome.